Welcome to Oh My Makery. This tutorial will help you get started with knitting in the round, which can sometimes seem a little bit daunting because the needles are all a little bit unruly. So ordinarily you'd be looking to join the work kind of there with a slip stitch, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do, so that you don't twist your work, which is the big thing that can cause lots of problems, is we're going to use the needle to go there and back until it's absolutely crystal clear whether you've twisted it or not. And you will leave a little bit of yarn here because you'll get maybe an inch of work that isn't joined. You'll just need to sew it up. Much better than getting halfway through your piece of work and realising you twisted it and you've got to start again. So you're just going to knit just as you normally would, and you'll keep going all the way. So we know how to knit. You just go through the front, out through the back, take the needle into around the back stitch. It's a little bit tight, and you'll keep going like that, okay, until you get to the end. So here I've just knitted a whole row on my circular needle. Now the pattern calls for a row of purl, so we're just going to purl as you normally would. So we've turned the work around and you're just going to purl. So we're not joining yet, we just continue knitting your purl stitches. Keep going. Now once you start knitting in the round, when you come to a purl row, if you're working off a traditional pattern, you just continue knitting, because when you knit in the round, effectively what you're doing is you're just knitting a really big spiral. And that's the lovely thing about knitting in the round, is that you just knit. Unless the pattern calls for a purl, you just knit. It gets a little bit trickier or different when you start doing moss stitches or ribs, but we can cover that later. So you'll keep working like that. See that? That's the right side, the wrong side, until you've got enough. So I'll probably do maybe another 2 rows like that, because then it will be absolutely crystal clear whether I have twisted my work or not. So now we've knitted a few rows, it's going to be very clear to see if we've twisted the work. So you just go through the work, you check whether it's twisted or not. It will be very obvious whether it is or not. And we're going to join them up. So the working yarn's on this side. So to join them up, we're going to make a stitch here, first of all. So we just take the yarn around, pop him back on, okay? And then we're going to move this stitch onto this needle. So let's do that, okay? Pull it just a little bit tight. And just shift it all up a little bit closer to the end, not so close that you're about to lose them all off. And then you take it over. So now, remember, when we're knitting, every row is a knit row. So if we want a garter row like this, you'd have to purl. And you just keep going. So I've knitted nearly a whole round. There's my marker. So you just go all the way around. You get to your marker, you just slip it over. And then this is our first proper joined row. So you just want to pull this a little bit tighter than perhaps you might ordinarily. And you'll see that that's now joined, okay? And off you go.